Hello, 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 and welcome to this episode of The Shift. Top earners, secrets, tips, and strategies to shift your mindset, your success, and massively increase your income. This day is special just like every other day on The Shift. Of course, you know by now, unless you've been under a rock somewhere, that video lead generation is one of the top ways to get people into your funnel, to get people to know who you are so they can know, like, and trust you, and you can sell more of your products and have a bigger impact in your business. And today, I have an individual who I have a ton of respect for. I met this guy just about a week ago in Atlanta, Georgia, and all the wisdom that just flows from him was absolutely amazing. I found myself taking notes after our meeting just so I could make sure I didn't forget some of the stuff that he shared. Lead generation expert, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Damon Green. Damon, how are you today, brother?
I'm well, Andre. How are you?
I'm great. Awesome. Hey, man, we're going to kick this thing off. We like to go right into action on the shift. Absolutely. What would you say, or what's your opinion when it comes to the shift impacting businesses? Why do you believe that all entrepreneurs, should experience shifts in their business?
Shift is like, you experience shifts throughout your whole life, really. I mean, when you think about when you were a kid, like you have small kids. I'll use me as an example. I have an 18-year-old getting ready to go to college. I was in the supermarket getting some last minute things, and I see this little bitty baby sitting in the grocery basket, and I'm looking down at him, and I'm 6'1", and he's about 6'2". I'm looking down at the baby, and I look up at him and look down at the baby, and used to be that size. But you know, he made it to about 5 or 6, and then he made it to his teenage years. Now he's like legal and adult. It's like there's shifts. So we shift throughout our lives. Then what happens? He goes to college. Then what happens? You go to. So we always have shifts, but as we become adults, many folks shift less. When we talk about entrepreneurship, in order for you to break out, you have to shift. You have to keep challenging yourself, and you have to keep looking past where you are in order to get where you want to be.
Absolutely. Great answer. I love it when we kick off with like just hit the ground running like that. So here's the thing. I already shared a little bit about your story, you know, what it is you do, how you impact the marketplace, but just pull back the curtains a little bit and give us Damon Green's story. You know, let us know a little bit about you and what you stand for when it comes to being an entrepreneur. Just share with us really quickly.
Okay, really quickly, 100-mile-an-hour run through the last 10 years of my life.
All right.
You know, I worked hard like everybody else. I educated myself a lot. I used to live in Barnes & Noble. Pretty much self-taught. Went to school, never finished. Pretty much self-taught, but ended up getting into graphic design.
Okay.
Did web design. From web design, I went into web development. And I've always had my twist in marketing. And as I evolved in marketing, you know, a lot of SEO, basically SEO and shifting to copywriting, I realized lead generation, like I'm doing all this to get people to the site. Why do people come to the site? For leads. So I'm like, okay, lead generation is huge.
Right.
I work for small celebrities, help magazine startup that's very successful now. Developed hundreds of thousands of leads, etc. You know, gone through 2 divorces. I've got 2 children in another state. So, you know, I travel back and forth. That's really why I do what I do for my kids.
Right.
And, you know, I went through a hard time. Second time around, I went through a hard time where I pretty much lost my business. And one of the main factors of me losing that was not investing in my business like I should have. You know, it's different to make a lot of money, but if you don't invest it back into your business, you know.
What did you really do that for?
Yes. And that's one of my main lessons that I've learned. You know, I did that, went back to corporate America. I'm currently back in corporate America and rebuilding my business.
Wow.
The reason I was able to get to the level that I was where I am in corporate America is because of the entrepreneurship that I had and because of what I taught myself, because that experience, and I tell entrepreneurs and students altogether, like value what you know, because you know probably what 90% of the world doesn't know. So don't undervalue what it is that you know. Even if you're not, making 7 figures, 8 figures, 6 figures, you can get there because of what you know. And it's just a matter, I'm back in the boat where a lot of folks are like, I want to get out of my job. I don't like my job and I want to do this. I'm back in that boat doing things differently this time. But it's still a matter of, I have my lessons and the lessons learned, and I'm leveraging what I have to get to where, past where I need to. And that's basically my story. At the end of the day, what I do now is video lead generation.
Okay.
Not video production. I show you how to create videos, whether you do it or someone else does it. How to use those videos to get people through into your funnel, or more specifically with the videos that I do, how to get your phone ringing, because that's the way you close folks the most.
Yeah.
If they call your phone, I deal a lot in lawn care, snow removal. It's funny because I have a property in Jacksonville. Lawn care, snow removal, and then real estate. And real estate's down in Miami. We sell. I help sell. I'm not an agent, but I help sell high-end real estate with a partner of mine. Just this year alone, that we can tie back to the video, we've sold over $1.5 million worth of real estate with video lead generation.
Wow, that you can tie. That's huge that you can tie back to the video lead generation. That's crazy.
Phone rings, everything's tracked. Now, it's funny, the property they called about, they didn't buy, but once you get the lead, you got the lead.
Right.
So, that's, and what I'm doing now is actually teaching agents the system, getting agents in my funnel, teaching them the system, and or doing that for them.
Wow, that's awesome. That is awesome. That's very unique. Very, very unique. We got to talk about that property in Jacksonville too.
Okay, gotcha.
So, what is your favorite business altering affirmation, and what do you do to apply that belief every day?
A business, it's not really business. It's more of a mindset affirmation. Okay. And that's just abundance and the fact that I deserve it. There are no limitations. And that's something big that I know just myself. I'm sure you can relate to that too. It's like when you hear 10K a month or you hear 6 figures, a lot of people are like, whoa, that seems like some big grandiose, it's like, really, it's not that big a deal.
Right.
And then once you get there, it's like, okay, what about 7? You get to 7 figures, which I'm not there yet. It's like, it's not that big a deal. But it's always, affirm, like, you deserve this. Right. Because most of the reason we don't accomplish what we do is because we tell ourselves we can't. Right. It seems too big of a, it seems too big. So it's like, oh, I'll never be able to do that.
Right.
Like Marquel, we were talking about last week over dinner or lunch. Marquel was talking about, we talk about this. Say I'm over in California and we see some properties or a hotel, it's like 500 million. I call you up, Damon, and I call you up, Andre, and I'll call you up. I forgot the other gentleman's name. We go in together and we go grab that. Like most people would think, like, oh yeah, I couldn't buy a $500 million anything.
Right.
But
And it's like, of course you can.
Yeah, it starts with you. If you got to believe you can do it.
Right, and that's why we like to start with affirmations, because I think a lot of entrepreneurs, we talk about, top earners, gurus, everything like that. We talk about affirmations almost kind of misleading the new entrepreneur, because we're almost giving the message that if you say the right things will happen. But you have to say the right things and believe them.
And do them.
Apply that.
Yes, application. That's right. That's the biggest thing. I mean, it's great to say it. And I remember the conversation because Marquel had me dying up there. But, people are like, well, I'm just going to pray. I'm going to wait on the Lord.
Right.
That's part one. That's part one.
That's only the beginning.
Yeah, but if you're sitting on your behind or watching the game, eating potato chips, chugging a beer back with some bonbons on the side every day, then Lord ain't coming.
Right.
So you have to get up and you have to go do something.
Right. Too many times we waiting on the Lord and the Lord is waiting on us. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yes.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So a lot of times I don't really believe in failure, so we don't really position this question as failure, so to speak. But in business, we all know that we come across tough times, and I like to call those tough times brick wall moments. And we call them brick wall moments because there's a time as an entrepreneur where you reach a point and you understand that you no longer can go around the situation, no longer can go above it or under it. You have to go right through that brick wall in order to get what it is you want out of your business, out of your life, and out of yourself. So describe for us a brick wall moment that you've reached in your business, and then what you did in order to burst through that brick wall and get on the other side and achieve the result that you wanted.
This is probably going to be a different answer.
Okay.
And I view failure a little differently. As opposed to being negative, I view it as a lesson.
Absolutely.
Because my whole, which I teach, I teach my kids and I teach anybody that come across, fail fast so that you can succeed.
Right.
So not fail like, oh, my life is over. It's like you messed up.
Right.
I've had a conversation outside the group with the barber gentleman, and I was like, yeah, I've been married twice, and I felt like a failure for a second, but he asked me, he's like, would you do it again? Absolutely. Differently, but I absolutely, because I don't consider it failure. I mean, it's a lesson. It's like, right. I joke around, it's like I split test relationships. So, that's just a little side note. But I mean, as far as brick wall moments, I would say me in my own way. Like, we all can do it. I was standing in my own way and I kind of stuck. I was like, I don't know what to do. So what I did was I had some friends in my circle, and I went and, I talked to some folks, and I got a buddy. I can't really explain what he does, but he's awesome. And he helps you get rid of hidden, the hidden barriers that you use to hold yourself back. Mm-hmm. He helps propel you past that. Basically, you wouldn't even realize it. He asks you questions that you end up answering, or your body answers. And then by asking you questions, it just logically, when your body's yes or no, when you're asking more questions, it gets to the bottom of it. And then, through like some meditation or just asking other questions, you're like, he'll say, here's what it is. Wow. And once you know better, I mean, unless you're, as long as you're intelligent enough to do this, once you know better, you do better. So my biggest roadblocks have been me in my own way. Like, that's been my biggest, kind of, I would say between that and also between not investing in my business.
Yeah.
Those two.
I can imagine that being, that's difficult. That's difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd say those two.
That's good. That's good. And reaching those moments, and it was interesting you say you never looked at anything as failure. You always look at it as a lesson. How did you apply, like, this second go round, whether it be in relationships, whether it be in your business this time, or actually knowing better, like you said, your friend helps with. Once you realize those, I guess, brick wall moments, what have you done in order to move forward and start to get the results that you really want?
Okay, so depending on which, I guess there's several of those moments, but I usually do the opposite of what I did initially. That's worked for me. A simple answer,
right?
But that's worked. But what I also do is, I sit back and I really think about and reflect on what got me here.
Right.
And then, seek counsel, ask other people, because there's always somebody that's been in your shoes. Talk to them, talk to other folks that are where I want to be, and say, the mastermind, that's been great for me for a lot of things, from encouragement to being able to reach out to other folks that are smarter than me or smarter than me in different areas. Throw it on the table. I've gotten beat up. I got beat up a couple weeks ago with some stuff that I did. I thought I was doing good, and I did okay. But they beat me up and were like, yeah, you need to do this, this, and this. So I made that change. I'm willing to accept criticism regardless of whether it's good or bad, because that's how you grow. So really reaching out as online entrepreneurs, we can't sit behind a computer. Like, the importance of events and getting out and meeting people or having masterminds with smart folks that are doing things. So, you always have those moments where you're not feeling good. You're like down and you're just like, oh. So when you have somebody else that you can talk to and other people that you can talk to and uplift you and encourage you, and then you basically do the same when they're kind of off or they need help. It's like family.
Right.
You know, it's family outside of family. Plus, you know, also reaching out to family and, you know, those folks that do support you, just say, hey, sometimes a different perspective helps.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
That's really what's gotten me past that. And that's what gets me through it now.
Awesome. I appreciate that. So
Absolutely.
we talked about your lead generation. We talked about the fact that, you know, you help people actually get individuals on the phone, which is super. That's lovely. We already talked about some of your successes when it comes to, you know, real estate, helping, individuals in real estate. Here's what we want to know right now, though. What is it that you specialize in? You already told us, but take it a little bit further. And also, what is the unique transformation that you provide to your audience, your customers, and, you know, your personal coaching clients?
Okay, I guess part one, again, video lead generation, meaning it's regular lead generation like anything else, but video is more interactive and much higher converting, meaning it gets results. I practice direct response marketing.
Okay.
If you watch my video, after my video, I want you to take a response, whether it's call, whether it's click a button, whether it's watch another video, whether it's subscribe to the YouTube channel. So that's what I do. And from a service perspective, I have, say, like a Service Magic and what was it? The name change. Yellow Pages, Service Magic. Those are like the competitors to me. Mm-hmm. So what I do is I generate leads for lawn and snow removal companies throughout the country. And I can literally go to these businesses and guarantee them results. Because what I do is I take the results first approach, which is a lot more challenging and a lot more expensive because I have to pay for everything out of my pocket to get it going. I basically get the videos ranked in the search engines and showing up, videos on other sites showing up. So when someone types, like, for instance, Jacksonville landscaping, my videos will pop up. A customer's looking for those. So I get in front of the customers based on, so for instance, say you're a landscaper, right? I would get in front of your customers based on the demand that they have, and I would place myself or my videos in front of them. They call the number on there, which is mine, and I redirect them to you. So I can literally call a company and say, I can get you on the first page of Google tomorrow and start getting your phone ringing in the next week.
Wow.
Because I'm already doing it, as opposed to going to somebody and saying I can do something, and it takes 3 to 6 months to get there. Mm-hmm. So that's the approach I take. And I like the results-based approach because it makes me stay on top of my game. Because if I'm not showing up and I'm not getting calls, I could go to somebody and sell them that, but that's not what I want to do. Like, I'm challenging myself to make sure, and you know, with I don't know if you know or not, but with SEO, it always changes, you fluctuate.
Right.
So my selling point is your phone's gonna ring. And I sell to them for a monthly amount. And I got to stay on top of my game, which means I need to make sure that I stay on top of my craft, that I know what I'm doing, that I'm getting their phone ringing, and I get checks. They're happy. They're happy. I'm happy. And I don't have to worry so much about, and the reason I did that too was, if we back it up a little bit, I used to do client work. Nothing wrong with client work, but I've been this way since a kid. I don't really like authority. I don't like to be told what to do.
Me neither.
And when if I'm working with a customer and they call me like, look, well, this T's not crossed and I need you to do this, I got to go do that. So I had fired my clients, and I'm taking this approach because I own everything. You need me. I don't need you. And when they pay you and they want you to do something, then it's almost like they own you. Well, I have what you need. If you don't want it, I'm going to your competition next door. I'm sure they'll take it.
Right.
So it's a better fit for me. Although it's a little challenging, it's still a better fit for me because, you know, I'm going to get the results. I'm going to figure out, why is it sitting at the bottom of page 1, and get up there and get the phone calls. And then I can go to them, and then, you know, they have slight flexibility, but I like the approach that, you know, they need me and I'm in control.
Right.
So that, you know, that's what I'm working on for now. Now I forgot the second part of that question. What was the second part?
Oh no, you actually answered the entire question.
Oh, I did. Okay, there you go.
You're good.
Yeah. So, and the system works with any business. I just focus on service-based businesses because what I realized was, and this is the aha moment in this whole thing, I was doing the consulting for local businesses. And I bartered with somebody, which happened to be his kid. He was a 21-year-old kid, a landscaper. And I did some stuff that traditional landscapers don't do. He was like, this isn't going to work. $1,200 a month later and 2 weeks later, he was like, okay, this works. I did a direct mail piece to the neighborhood. Instead of the postcards, I'm sure you get you see the postcards they throw. I did an actual direct mail piece in an envelope, put on their mailbox. And he didn't think that was going to work. 2-page letter. And that kicked his business off. But then we did a video, sat by a year later. I had actually left the house because I wasn't with my wife anymore. And he was still cutting the grass. But he called me back almost like 9 months to a year later. Was like, oh, I forgot to tell you, I'm getting calls out the wazoo. Okay, what does that mean? Is that good or bad? Then he told me that it accounted for like 60% of the video. He was like, can you shut it off? Because people keep calling me and I can't do the work. It's not enough. I mean, I don't have enough people.
Goodness.
And he ended up making about 38 grand from that one video within 18 months.
Wow.
So on top of the other stuff, he sold his business for a nice 5-figure at age 25 for a nice 5-figure amount and went on to doing something else. But he was doing 92, based on 60% of that was from me helping him, but he was doing 90 to 100K without expenses, because there's gas and equipment and all that, but he was doing about 90 to 100K just from the stuff that I helped him with.
Wow.
So when I found that out about the video, I was like, I knew he was getting calls because we track everything. But I was just like, I didn't know he was getting that many calls. And then I was like, you know what? I think other people would like this too, and like to know how to do this.
Right.
And that's really when it hit me, and I was like, all right, I'm going to really go into this. And because I've launched products for years, I was like, you know what, folks would probably want to learn how to do this, and I can, I'd like to teach what I do. I don't just teach the stuff, I do it. And most of the problem is folks are like, when are you coming up with something else? It's been a while because I'm in the lab doing this, and when I get an opportunity to, I'll put together a course and I'll teach it.
Right. Awesome. Love it. So this is one of my favorite parts of the entire show, because I don't know, I'm really a boxing fan. Well, old school boxing, not that new stuff, not that Floyd Mayweather boxing, but like when
Amen, brother.
But like real heavyweight boxing, when they used to like really slug it out. And I call this the rope-a-dope round. I don't know if you remember when, Ali used to kind of, go against the ropes, get backed up against the ropes and fight his way out. So this is the part where I'm going to, I back up phenomenal entrepreneurs like yourself up against the rope with a few, questions, and you just answer as quickly as you can right off the top of your head. And it gives a lot of value to our audience. So number one, what is the one thing entrepreneurs must do if they want to be successful in business?
Get out of your own way.
I love it. What is the top business resource you suggest to entrepreneurs?
Top business resource? I would say podcasts.
Okay. What has been the one skill that has served you the best in business?
Skill. With me, my thirst for knowledge.
Okay.
I always have to know. I don't have to do. I'm a recovering, knowledge addict, but I don't always have to do, but just to be familiar with.
Okay.
And be up to a challenge.
Okay. So basically, like being well versed.
Well versed, but also, being up for a challenge. I say more because one thing I have learned is do one thing, as opposed to the jack of all trades and master of none. And you hear multitasking, which I cringe when I hear that.
Oh my gosh! Don't get me started on multitasking.
Yeah, I still do it. I mean, I still have too many projects, but there's a lot of stuff going on. I just kind of like put the blinders on and phase out all the other stuff and just focus on. Somebody calls me, hey, can we? Nope. I'm staying focused on this. Even if there's money involved, I'm staying focused on what I know will bring in the more money now than, prioritization, I'd say.
Right. Okay. What are the top 3 books you suggest every entrepreneur should read?
3 books. Okay, well, I'm going to cheat because I got 2 books here that I'm reading now. One, The Irresistible Offer by Mark Joyner.
Oh, okay.
Every business has to make an offer.
Right.
And this book here will help. The next one, because direct response, Cashvertising.
Okay.
Great for copywriting, and this goes back to the Facebook. I'm working on Facebook video ads now.
Okay.
And writing ads and getting people to take an action, and also this helps with the writing videos themselves, because you can formulate the video so that it encourages people to take action. So I'm studying from the best. And business-based book.
Just a book, period. It like, you know, entrepreneur. I mean, I've read I read Moby Dick. That wasn't a business-based book, but it taught me a lot about business.
Yeah, well, I write emails like that. I have one on the top of my head. I'm trying to think what it is. What was it? It was on my Kindle. What did I just start reading? I mean, I could use the basic ones, you know, Think and Grow Rich and all that. It wasn't one of those. Right. I can't remember. What's the third one? Can't remember the third one right now. I'm sorry. It's a good one too. It's hold on, give me a second.
Who wrote it? You know who wrote it?
No, if I were in my library, I'd be able to pull it. Like, okay, that's it right there. Oh, you know what? What is that book? It's red. Now it's in my head and I can't think of what it is because I need to read this again. I can picture the cover, the back cover, what it looks like. I can't picture the name. It's red and white.
It's red and white. The Entrepreneurship Roller Coaster is red and white.
No, that wasn't it. Well, okay, I'll give you this one. No Excuses by
Brian Tracy. I'm reading that right now.
Yeah, that's a good one. I haven't finished, but there's another one that you've probably heard of. It starts with the I. The I, or
The One Thing?
No.
No, not The One Thing. That is red.
Well, the other one, which I didn't read, I should have read 15 years ago and I didn't. I listened to on audiobook unabridged is The E-Myth.
Oh, I haven't read that yet.
Read it.
Heard about it though.
Read it. Don't wait 15 years like I did.
I'm definitely gonna read it. Gonna read it.
Yeah. Okay, so I'd say The E-Myth, and this other book that I can't remember. It's more of a psychology-based book and kind of like helping folks get out of their own heads, and kind of like No Excuses, where it's business-based, but it's got a lot of science behind it.
Right.
So I just can't remember what it is. If I were in my apartment, I could look up. It's right up there on my bookshelf.
That's what happens when you're not home, right?
Like, what was that? But I did bring 2 books. I brought 2 books for the flight, so
right.
You know, that was good.
Right. And the last question is, and it's a fill in the blank question. I am an entrepreneur because
2 reasons. I love helping folks, and I enjoy freedom.
Really simple. I like that. That. So that's that. We're now at we're right in the final stretch. These are some of my favorite questions as well. Describe your biggest, and you actually already shared it, but you probably have plenty. Most entrepreneurs do. I like to call aha moments, light bulb moments, that's it moments. When you're really in that moment and you see something, you have this bright idea, and you're like, that's it. That's what I'm going to do. That's what's going to allow me to build a foundation for my success right there. So describe your biggest that's it moment and what actions you took in order to leverage that idea or concept and create the success that you've been able to achieve.
I'd say I'm actually in one of my biggest I'm feeling this is one of my biggest aha moments now, where it's, you know, get out of your comfort zone. Like within the last 3 weeks, I forced myself out of the really out of the comfort zone, where normally I'd be like, oh, what am I going to do about this? And I'm just like, I'm going to make it happen because that's what I do.
Right.
I might be a little scared and struggle, but I'm gonna make it happen anyway, and I'll figure everything else out. But this is important for me to learn.
Right. Right.
So, and what did I do? Just went for it. Just took action. Learned. You know, I've had a few roadblocks, learning and stuff. The Facebook ads I was talking about.
Right.
Like that's a big thing. Folks are very. I can't say everyone, but initially, I guess newbies, and not even newbies, if you're not used to buying traffic and understanding it. I just had this discussion with my barber. We were talking about he just started a natural like men's skin organic line for like beards and for hair. And we were talking. He was like, "Yeah, you know, somebody told me I need to start like spend like $75,000 before I really make my first dollar." I was like, well, "That's probably not true." What? But you know, some folks have done that. But what I was telling him was, you know, we was talking about paid traffic like Facebook. And I was like, be prepared. Most people will spend $100, $200. Like that doesn't work. I'm not doing that. You will spend at least not even spend. You will invest about $500 to $1,000 before you see results that you are even not scared of. And that's where I am now, where but I know I'm getting data. When I get the data back, I can look at that and say, okay, like right now I know things I didn't know before. My target audience the age is different. And based on who I was targeting and I'm getting results from, thought it was females, it's not, it's males. But if I didn't put this and then invest in this, right, and just put my hands up and say, look, I'm gonna just hold on and I'm not gonna stress this. Now I did shut some campaigns off and some other things, but you know, it's out of my comfort zone because I'm used to, you know, SEO, video SEO and video marketing regular without, you know, buying those views. That I can do all day. It takes longer though. It takes, you know, 30 days to 3 or 6 months. Right. Paid traffic is instant, but depending on what you're trying to accomplish, and what I'm trying to accomplish is different. I'm trying to get folks on a webinar. So I'm using lead generation, instant lead generation to get on a webinar. I'm getting results, but it's not like sending emails to my list. So I'm learning, and it's very uncomfortable for me. You know, I have not taken care of some things that I need to take care of just to make sure that I do this. And I did that because it's uncomfortable. And usually I'm like, oh, and for the last, say, 3-4 months, I've been like, well, you know, I got to allocate this and I got to allocate this and do this and this. And I was like, you know what? Screw that. Right. I'll be all right. Bills aren't going anywhere. I'm going to live. Right. Run into it. And that's where I'm right now. So, you know, if you're going to talk to me in about 2 months, I can tell you about, yeah, man, I got it. This is what's happening. But right now, it's a scary moment. Right. And that's good. Don't take action. That's good. That's good. It's good to hear. It's good to hear people. It's good to catch you at a time, because a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of even new entrepreneurs, they see people like you and myself, and they see the successes and they hear the stories, but they never really hear us, like I feel, as human beings. When we're getting ready to take that next step in our business, and it's completely uncomfortable. It keeps us up at night. It bothers us. We don't know exactly, you know, because entrepreneurs are used to being in some sort of control, especially when you get the results that you want. And when we get in control, we end up putting ourselves in a situation that's not comfortable, so we can not really be in control anymore. That's what makes a successful entrepreneur, really. Yeah. So, and a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people want to stay in their comfort zone, like you were talking about, and they suffer in that comfort zone. That comfort zone doesn't make any money. Yeah. I mean, it takes getting out of your comfort zone to grow in general.
Absolutely.
And that's really what it's about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. From your experience, what is the one thing that you would say holds would-be successful entrepreneurs back from the success that they desire?
I'll say this and then I'll kind of explain it. But being an educated fool.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to sit back for this. This is going to be good.
And I've been an educated fool, so I can say this, you know, I'm recovering. Right. But basically, trying to learn everything in the world before taking action, or just trying to learn everything in the world. Think about a person that you know. I know you know somebody, and family, friends, somebody that has gone to school as a career and still does not have a job or the job that they'd like. They have their MBA, PhD, doctorate, you know, what's over top of that? You know, the
all types of stuff,
space degree, whatever, and they're looking for the next degree to get, but they never do anything.
Right.
That's, you know, I've done that. You know, I had to be. Don't be a perfectionist. One thing Matt Basak had said years ago when I first moved to Atlanta and I went to his one of his trainings, and this dude is not. He's by far dumb, but he's not like when you talk to him,
right?
He's like a normal person, but this dude is a multi-millionaire.
Right.
And he said what got him there was it only has to be 70%. You just got to do it. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to do it, and you learn. So just don't put your foot in the water. Jump in the water, at least waist deep, and then figure out everything else as you go.
Right.
Don't try and get it perfect the first time, because that's what folks do. They keep trying to get everything, learn everything. But what's the point of learning if you don't use what you learn?
Right.
And I see that so much with people like, oh, I'm overwhelmed, or that didn't work, or I'm reading everything, trying to do everything, and they do nothing.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
That's.
I love it.
Education is important, but you got to do something with it. That's the point.
Absolutely, you got to apply it. Otherwise, it's just knowledge going to waste.
It's like going buying a can of Snapple and reading the bottom, like, all right, that's cool,
and never drinking it.
You know, because you know the Snapple caps had those useless information on there.
Right.
That's basically what it is. It's like you're reading useless information. Doesn't matter if Warren Buffett wrote it or if Andre wrote it. If you don't do anything with it, it's useless information.
Useless. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's awesome. I'm so glad you explained that. Do not be an educated fool, ladies and gentlemen. That was a nugget.
Yes.
That was absolutely a nugget. What are you most excited about right now in your business?
Right now, I'm excited about this. I guess working on this new project I'm working on. You know, training real estate agents to. My goal this year is to take 20 agents to $1 million in sales, additional to what they normally do.
Wow,
that's $20 million.
That's a great.
For the agents, I'm going to train the agents. I'm going to work with them, show them how to do that. And that's probably a low number, because using the system, if they set it up right the way I show them, and with my coaching and with my partners coaching, it shouldn't be an issue. But I'm very excited about that. And I'm also excited about it because it's new territory for me from the perspective of I have no list, I have no JVs, I know no one in the industry. So I'm doing everything purely right now, focused, because I can be doing YouTube ads, and I can do Facebook, and I can do Twitter, and I can do LinkedIn, but I'm only focusing on Facebook video ads. I'm going to master it, learn it, and start off with Facebook, and then I'm going to go to the other modalities and build it up to, the goal next year is at a minimum of $575,000 from everything we're doing. And that's just that business, but I'm focused on it. I know it's a good training. It works. We've done it. My challenge is getting those folks in from an avenue that I've never used before. So I'm brand new. I have experts in my field to talk to, but I am doing it. So I'm learning, and I have to sit there. Actually, when we get off the phone, or we get off this call, I'm going to sit back and look at the data and just think and analyze it and be like, all right, what do I need to do? Brainstorm ideas. But once I get it, that's another skill that when you can create traffic, you can control everything else. So I'm really excited about it. Did a webinar last week, had about 5 people on. That's not a lot of people for a webinar, but I got 5 people on, so I know it's going to work. Now I got to get 200 people on, or 2,000 people on, and then that's when the numbers come in. But it's just a challenge. It's exciting and frustrating all at the same time. And again, I'm out of my comfort zone because I'm starting from scratch. I'm tempted to go reach out to some other real estate folks, but I'm not. I am going to make myself, I'm putting myself in the corner like, you're going to figure this out, Damon.
Right.
And you're going to get it to work. And when you get it to work, then you can go out there doing the stuff that you're comfortable with and you know.
Right.
Multiply it.
But get it to work first.
Yes. And not give up on it. I mean, invest in money. You know, I'm just watching Facebook pull out of my account.
Right.
But I do have the data and I'm learning more and I'm getting better. So, you know, I'm not seeing them give me that money back yet.
Right. But it'll come.
Yeah, but I mean, it's very uncomfortable and, you know, I'll make it work. Because that's what I do. And somehow.
I love it. I
look at it as if other folks can do it, why can't I?
Right. But of course. If others can do it, you know it's possible.
Yeah. So
I love it. So our final question is just to leave us with some of your parting knowledge, some of your parting wisdom, and make sure we know how our audience can get in touch with you.
Okay, leave you with some parting knowledge. We talked about don't be an educated fool.
Yeah.
Stick with one thing. Don't do one thing a little bit like, oh, this is something cooler comes along and, you know, shiny object syndrome.
Right.
Stay away from it.
Right.
Tunnel vision, focus, make it work.
Right.
Until you know that this isn't for you, work on it and make it work. Because you jump around, think about everybody knows somebody like this. Think about somebody you know in network marketing. That's in a new network marketing opportunity every other month.
Mm-hmm.
They're jumping. Stick with one. Make it work for you.
Right.
So,
for like 8 years.
Yes, I've known somebody for about 20. So, you know, and just take action.
Right.
Don't be afraid. Just go out and do it. Like, the only way anything ever gets done is to do it.
Right. Absolutely.
So that's 3 things, but those are from my experience, that's really, I can sit back and look at myself, and I tell my kids that all the time. I'm like, don't be me. You have my learnings. I'm showing you where you're going to go wrong if you keep doing this. So, I mean, of course, they're kids, but, you know, learn.
Right. Absolutely.
Get out there and do something. It doesn't have to be perfect. You won't get in trouble for trying.
Never.
So, but if you don't try, what happens? You sit here and complain and you wonder about what happened if I tried.
Right. What would have been. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
You don't want to be that has been or what could have been. And, you know. And the third thing is stop making excuses and complaining. I can't stand that.
Right. Me neither. That makes my skin cringe.
Because you get 30 seconds to complain.
Huh?
You get 30 seconds to complain. Then it's all right. Now what are you gonna do about it?
Right. There's no you can take that same effort you use, that same energy you use to complain, and try to come up with a solution.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
as far as I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good.
I was gonna say, as far as I can, how you can reach me, I have a site where I actually share my insights. It's going to be redone soon, but it's basically a PDF that shows you the exact process that I use from a very high level, including resources, including places you can go and tools you can use. It's Video Domination BP, as in blueprint.
Okay.
You can go there. It's an opt-in form. You fill that out. I'll send you the PDF right from there. I'm actually revamping that whole structure to make it more. I'm gonna do individual videos. It's all free. That's the light version. I do have the Video Domination Blueprint, which will be an actual product that's going to be in depth. I haven't had the opportunity to go through and put that together yet, but that's an outline that you can take and actually start practicing as soon as you get it. Like, everything in there is what I do. And if you're a go-getter, go download it, create some videos, use it. And on the autoresponder sequence, I'll be sending additional little nuggets. But the actual course itself isn't ready yet, and it probably won't be for a while because I'm working on some other things. But that alone, you can take that and start getting results within the next 30 days.
Awesome. Well, all of our audience already knows that they can get access to everything you just shared right on our show notes page at www.coachdre.com / oh, awesome, man. You put it in there. Excellent. / D That's www.com, www.coachdre.com/DG. Hey man, like nobody knows, but you actually did this episode in your little sister's old room, which I greatly appreciate, man. Thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to share with our audience and sit down with me and, you know, be able to impart some knowledge into our audience. I definitely appreciate you for that. Anytime you need me, brother, anytime you need me, just holler at me, all right?
All right. Awesome. Thank you.
This is Coach Dre reminding you, if you think phenomenal, speak phenomenal, and take phenomenal action, you will become a phenomenal entrepreneur. Have a blessed day because you absolutely deserve it.